These two teenage boys just walked over by my driver's door. I'm sitting here on the street in my Durango. My driver's window's down, and the brunette boy said real loudly, "I have invincibility." And the two boys weren't talking up to that minute when that boy said that. And they didn't say anything after they passed my vehicle up on the sidewalk over here headed towards the Shell station. So I don't have invincibility. I know that I don't. Trust me, I've never thought of myself as invincible or as superwoman or anything like that. Those are the types of things that I routinely experience, where people will walk up to me and say something in first person about themselves, but it's pointed at me. So that I don't even pay attention to, because it's not true, and people that don't know me, have never met me, and have not talked to me or interacted with me, couldn't possibly have a clue about what I think or don't think. And I have never thought of myself as invincible. I know that I'm not invincible. That's why I'm in my Durango and have been all day instead of at home, where I would have been miserable, even though I would have been sleeping. Freedom is a precious thing, and you can feel like you are in a prison without walls. People go through that in relationships, in marriages, in friendships, in jobs. My Uncle Ralph committed suicide because he was distraught over the fact that he was installing computer networks for his employer, and it was the change in technology, they say, is what he couldn't handle, to the point that he committed suicide over it. I mean, he was my grandmother's brother, so he's actually my great uncle. So we all have our own lives to live and things that bother us, but it's all has to do a lot with your point of view and what stressors you experience, what your sensibilities detect, and how you interpret the world around you. Other people would have been like, yeah, finally, computers. Thank God we're not using those stupid adding machines anymore, So that, to me, anybody who would want to say something like that to me, like this one guy walked up to me at a Circle K, I don't know, in the last year, and he's like, my eyes don't work as well as they used to. But he was a young guy, and he wasn't talking about himself. And I mean, there's stuff like that people will say to me. I have 20/20 vision. I'm sorry, my eyes work fine. I had my eyes checked a couple years ago. I expect one day, I'll probably have to wear reading glasses like everybody else does when they get older, but and other stuff like that. This one lady walked over and she said, I'm so confused. I can't decide what I want to do. And, shaking the head like, yeah, don't you agree with that? That's ridiculous to me. And that's like somebody just sitting back playing cards with me and doesn't want me to know who they are, and is just sending people up to make statements to me that I don't know and have never met, because they say it and I hear it and I don't say anything back to them, or I don't dispute it. Then I'm agreeing to that being the case, and that being truthful about myself. That's not true. And that's a ridiculous game to play with somebody. And it's insulting. Um, People interpret the world around them in different ways, and not everybody has the same point of view. As I said before, with my Uncle Ralph, his point of view about computers on his job perplexed him so much that he committed suicide. And I guarantee you, my son, if he'd been there, an adult or a college student, you can't even work at McDonald's now without knowing how to work a computer. People get upset because they're using Windows 7 point whatever instead of Windows 9 or Windows 11 now. And anybody else in that same situation that Uncle Ralph was in would have been like, thank you, God, finally, computers, So you can have a very same set of facts, a very same set of information and stimulation presented to two different people and have completely opposite interpretations of that information. And who's to say one is more valid than the other? I miss Ralph. I wish he hadn't killed himself over computers. But he was my grandmother's brother, and he come from, a different generation. Here comes the two kids now. One of them is walking, holding a cell phone. Not talking on it, so I'm going to roll up my window now. Here they go, you can see them. You can see their shadows at the house. The one who said that, he's holding the phone up to his ear. He's not talking on it. They're walking back over to Perry's apartment complex. They're both teenage boys. One of them's got brown hair, one of them's got black. Both wearing shorts and t-shirts. Purple and black on one kid, and blue and black on another. So, what is so upsetting to me is that I don't think vulnerable, and I think whoever would say that about me probably is the person who has that type of mentality that they are in fact invincible, all-knowing, all-seeing, like God. God is invincible, but I'm not, and I'm not stupid enough to think I am. And how ridiculous to play a game like that, which is a very clear demonstration of the very point that I make about that individual who would do something like that, to play a game like that with me. Give me a break, really. That's silly. It's really silly. I think this individual, whoever's behind this, is just some kind of a nut job on a power trip that is probably externalizing all of the things about themselves that are negative onto me. In a way to somehow grapple with those problems that he or she has within himself or herself. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you, somebody who I've never met and don't know, sit back and play games like this with me and my son without ever speaking to us and act like you're so clever and you're so all-knowing and so smart and intelligent that you could tell me how I feel without ever meeting me or my son. And sit back and think that you know what's best for us when you've never met us. All you do is follow us around and run your mouth about us and play games with us like you did with these two boys just now.